remember every Saturday Mom baking a huge batch of bread from scratch. The dough would rise and ooze like a volcano over the bread bowl until she punched it down one more time. When it had risen enough, Mom would parcel the big ball of dough into several different sized pieces from which she would make buns, bread, and these beautifully braided cinnamon cakes that she frosted with hot glaze. The whole house smelled like a fancy bakery. Mom came in the living room and said we were acting like a bunch of animals and should go outside. Without a pause, the seven of us broke out in several-part harmony and began singing, "In the jungle, the mighty jungle," and ended by each mimicking a different zoo animal. Mom started smiling and laughing a bit. Mom, the cool cowgirl. I remember one spring or summer getting shut.
The day I was run over with the hay wagon full of hay. The day I played pole vaulting with a fence post and needed 15 stitches. The day I ran over the dog with my bike and broke my ankle in 3 places, which required numerous days in the hospital after an infection took over, etc., etc. I remember these incidents like they were yesterday, and I do not seem to recall Mom ever losing it. She remained calm and took the appropriate action. Maybe she figured Dad got excited enough for both of them. But whatever the reason, it is really remarkable how she was able to do this over and over again. I remember Mom was very busy with either cooking or working outside the home, always trying to help keep us fed. On baking days, the kitchen would be filled with bread of some sort from one end to the other. Her garden was filled with every kind of vegetable, and endless hours were spent canning and pickling. I must not forget to mention the plucking of chickens and the wrapping of meat in freezer paper. Then on Sundays, besides feeding all of us around the table, she usually had visitors to set an extra plate for as well. Mom did not have time to think about luxuries or time off, but I do not remember her ever complaining about it. When Mom finally retired and had some free time, I was so happy that she could finally rest. These days, she continues to take care of things with Dad. Without Mom at each doctor's appointment and her running things with his meds and all, who knows how Dad would be getting along. Thanks, Mom, for taking such good care of Dad. We all appreciate it, and we know that he does too. Happy 80th. Thanks for all the memories, all the things you taught us about patience, persistence, fortitude, faith, family, and hard work. We love you, Renee.
Hi, John. Hi, Nicole.
It all happens when you put it down. It sounds like a laugh.
Okay.
Over there.
This is from Michelle.
Twins.
Okay, one memory that I have was when I was very young. Mike, Renee, and I were having a blast running and playing in all of the water that was in the basement in the house at West Concord. I believe we had tried this adventure before and had been told of its danger, but we thought it was fun, so what was a little danger? Mom may have warned us once or twice. That part I could not remember. What I do remember, however, was looking to the top of the stairs and seeing her there with a broom. One by one, we filed up to take our punishment. First Renee, spank, then me, spank. But that slick little Mike ran right past. He never did get spanked. It was probably his idea in the first place. Mom did not have a difficult time letting go of the parenting role when we became adults. Somehow she accepted each of us just as we turned out. I have never heard her say one negative thing about any of my siblings, and there were plenty of things to say. In December of 1997, John and I flew down to Texas to spend Christmas with Mom and Dad. We played shuffleboard, ate fresh fruit off a tree right in their yard, and visited with Ray and Jerry. Jeff and Carla, Nicole, and a foreign exchange student also showed. Everyone spoke Spanish and watched our mariachi band. We were sure to bring back our limit of rum. In general, it was just a nice, relaxing vacation, and Mom was always so easygoing. One last thought, this never occurred to me while growing up, but as an adult it amazes me that Mom can create a meal out of anything. It never mattered how many showed up or how close to the meal time they arrived, Mom could feed them all. Happy 80th, Mom, Michelle.
You just add more water to the sugar.
Okay, this is Jeff. One of my earliest memories with Mom is from West Concord. It was the day I got caught in the elevator while riding up to the loft to help unload hay. In spite of the possible tragic outcome, it turned out to be a blessing. Although there was no gaping wounds, or blood associated with the incident, my painful howling was enough for Mom to award me the rest of the day off, as well as part of the next day. I I was also granted light duty after that. After 3 days of hobbling around, I finally got to see the doctor. As it turned out, as a good idea it seemed to visit the doctor, it led to my demise and the end of the light duty. Deep bruises were no excuse. I was back to full-time status in a matter of a few days. Man, the 3rd grade was tough. The rest of my time in West Concord is a little sketchy, either because of the above experience or my youth. After 5th grade, we moved to the farm by Mankato. I can remember some of the first years being very excited with all the new activities. We had the river to play in, the hayloft, and many other wonderful places to explore. By the way, Mom, did you know that Michelle almost drowned? I was not involved in the incident, but as I recall, we all supported the decision not to tell her. After all, it could have negatively affected our daily activities.
Now it's out. Oh, he sold the farm. All right.
I can remember on several occasions picking Mom up at the top of the driveway with the 4-wheel drive because the road had been blown in while she was at work. She would park in Yeager's yard and walk to her side of the drift, sometimes carrying groceries. I would have to pull her and the groceries over the snowbank and take her the rest of the way home. Now, when it was Mom's turn to pick me up, she seemed to be somewhat forgetful. There were several times she left me standing in Rapidan after basketball practice. She was supposed to pick me up on her way home from work, but about halfway through chores, somebody would realize there was one short, and she would suddenly remember why. Then back to Rapidan she would come. Mom, I hope you enjoyed these fond memories as much as I did left you.
Okay, here's Mike. Mom and her loved ones. The most remarkable quality of our mother possesses is her ability to make do with what we have. How does someone convince a dairy farming family of 13 kids that as a cost-saving measure, powdered milk is a viable substitution? It's a real thing. I told my kids we were switching from Kemp's to just the Cub Foods brand of milk, and the 3 of them went off their cereal for a week. And how about clothes? I remember tearing the shoestring hole out while trying to remove the price tag of a brand new pair of shoes Renee had just received, and feeling so bad that she would have to go without tying her left shoe until next year came around, and she would get another pair. Coats without zippers, pants without knees, shirts with holes under the arms or the neck hole torn out, bikes with no rubber on the tires or pedals missing. I somehow did not even notice, certainly I did not care. I always had food on my plate, and twine worked great to hold up Jeff's old pair of pants that Dan only wore for a few months, and Bob missed owning because he got a pair from Mark Ketch just the year before. If you wanted fashion, just braid the twine.
That's true.
In today's world where everything is not enough, the expanded haves were exceeding the diminished needs, and yet we feel we want more. The world could use a lot more people who could make do with what they have. This quality is just one of the many gifts that our mother has displayed for us. Love, Mike.
The time out to show me how to play the game.